Hyper independence, that sounds like me, because every time somebody wants to do something for me, I'm like, no, I'd rather do it myself. That's okay, that's fine. And then if men do something for me, I'm like, what's your ulterior motive?
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a very interesting video as always. So we want to talk about hyper independent. So apparently this was something I saw, and I'm just giving it a side eye. I'm like, am I? I feel like one of the things we talk a lot here on this channel is talking about some of our trauma and just really try to connect with some of the things and understand some of our emotions and our trauma so that it can help us heal better. And when I saw this video talking about hyper independence, I could not just help it and give it the side eye. So in this video, we're going to see people talk about hyper independence in the reflection of dating in a relationship, in a union, in a and all that. So that's what today's video is, which I'm going to do a part 2 of how hyper independent shows in family, and also how family has affected and caused the trauma of hyper independent, which we're going to get into. So let's go check out this video of people talking about hyper independent in relationship and all that. But before we get into it, we're going to see two creators that actually broke down some of the things to look out for to identify if you are hyper independent. Nobody's diagnosing anybody, but if it's shoes fits. Anyway, guys, let's go check out this video, then we'll come back and talk more.
6 signs you might be hyper independent from trauma. Number 1, you tend to be the ruler in your family, meaning that in your house you tend to take on all the responsibilities, schedule all of the things, feel accountable for every single thing that happens, because time has taught you that you cannot rely on anyone. Number 2, you've probably lost somebody, whether through their passing or them leaving you, walking out of your life at some point, and decided that you will never need anybody again because you did not have the support, the tools, or the understanding of how to work through that grief. So you would rather be alone than suffer that heartache and that loss again. Number 3, you probably grew up as a caregiver, and you may have taken on the responsibility of raising or protecting your siblings. So being in charge is just second nature because you really just didn't have a choice. Number 4, my personal favorite, is that you probably are hyper independent if at some point you decided that you would be responsible for every single thing in your life so that nobody could let you down and nothing could go wrong that you weren't in control of. Number 5, you probably are hyper independent if you decided to push through because it was too hard to feel your feelings, or they were so invalidated that it was easier to just keep moving forward and have a plan of action than it was to sit and deal with the fact that nobody cared how you felt. And number 6, you're probably hyper independent if you grew up in a household where there was no emotional, physical, or mental support, meaning that you basically just had to fend for yourself.
So let me know down in the comment section if you kind of resonate with some of the things she listed out there. I personally, I so resonate with it because, hey, I remember a couple of years ago when I just started seeing my therapies, and after talking to her, she was just like, you are you're a perfectionist, you're a controller, you like, and that's what you say, like, you're too independent, like you own the only person you feel you can rely on is yourself. And I'm just like, I never thought about it. So when I saw this video, people talking about hyper independent, I'm just like, ah. Anyway, guys, let's go check people more thoughts on this, then we'll come back and talk more. But I'm super excited for this conversation. Let me know down in the comment section what you think, though, so far, what you think about it, and if it resonates with you or resonates with somebody you know. Go down in the comment section and share your thoughts.
If you don't feel attracted to anyone anymore and lost interest in dating, it could be a result of hyper independence, which is a trauma response. It's your way to feel safe because you still suffer from the past experiences in your life. And it's actually a survival mechanism to not lose control over your actions and your feelings. So you convinced yourself that it's easier to just stay single than risk another heartbreak. But if you long for a relationship deep down, there is a way to break the cycle, and it's actually quite easy.
If you're not attracted to anybody anymore and you lost interest in dating, this could be a result of hyper independence. I just watched a woman talking about it on TikTok, and I was like, oh gee, because I've been struggling with feeling attracted to people, or specifically men. Like, I look at them and I like them and I think they're pretty, I think they're cute, I think they're attractive, but I lose interest in them so quickly. And I'm like, but would I want to date you? Would I actually want you to be my boyfriend? And this woman, this psychologist, this person, whatever, she was talking about, yeah, you could be hyper independent because, first of all, you always had to take control. You always were just dependent on yourself, and people would just hurt you in relationships and use you and all that kind of stuff. She was saying a lot of things. I'm probably remembering it wrong, but I was like, hyper independence, that sounds like me, because every time somebody wants to do something for me, I'm like, no, I'd rather do it myself. That's okay. That's fine. And then if men do something for me, I'm like, what's your ulterior motive? What's your ulterior motive? And if a guy wants to date me, I'm like, no, it's only because you don't know me well and you don't know my life and you don't actually want it. And could we actually have fun together? Because could I actually feel comfortable with a guy? Could I laugh with him? Could I don't know. Maybe. But am I attracted to you? Then I'm back to that and I'm like, no, maybe not, but maybe yes, but maybe not. Maybe I'm hyper independent. If you're not attracted to anybody anymore and you lost interest in dating, this could be a result of hyper.
If you find that you are no longer attracted to people and you're no longer interested in dating, this could also be the result of you being on a healing journey long enough and you realize that some people just aren't worth your salt. You realize that not everybody is worth your investment of the time and energy that you're going to put into them, and you are starting to take people at face value. This does not mean that you are hyper independent. It means that you are starting to see people for who they really are. When you've been single for a long time, people are no longer competing against each other for your time and affection. They're competing against the peace that you feel when you're by yourself.
Attracted to anybody anymore and you lost interest in dating, this could be a result of hyper independence.
Hyper independence. That is the term that I've been trying to look for when I explain to people of why I'm single. I've gotten way too comfortable being independent and by myself that I don't want anyone disrupting that peace. When I try to explain this to people, I don't think a lot of people understand it, and that's okay. But now that I think about it, it really makes sense. And I'm going to use that terminology moving forward when people ask me, because I think that's the easiest way to explain it. This is a great video, very enlightening.
OG, because I've been struggling with feeling attracted to people, or specifically men.
I was dealing with the same thing, and then I just realized I'm gay.
Truth is, when you're dating a girl that's very, very independent, she's probably always going to say no anytime you ask her, does she need anything? And as toxic as you may think that is, we all have our baggage. And then when you are in a relationship, you work through that trauma with that person if that's the person that you decided to be with. So if you want to help her to stop being so prideful in that sense, and yes, she needs to be working on her trauma too if she is overly independent. I have to say things for clarity. But anyways, if you feel like you want to do something for her, just do it. Take that initiative, because when she sees you taking that initiative, it'll make her more comfortable and more trusting, and she'll feel like she can depend on you a little bit more. And just for clarity, independence is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But too much of anything can become a bad thing.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but hyper-independence is the result of trauma. I don't need anyone and I'll just do it myself really means my ability to trust has been injured by people systemically failing me and letting me down. You do need people. We all do. Listen again. I don't know who needs to hear this, but hyper-independence is the result of trauma.
This is a conversation that not many of us are ready to have. Hyper-independence and acting like you're fine on your own and that you want to do life alone is literally a result of being hurt and disappointed by people in your life. And I get it. And I want to say that I'm so sorry for the people who have intentionally or unintentionally hurt you. But we were literally made for community and relationships and love. Denying yourself of that and acting like you don't want it is denying your humanity. And I see a lot of what our culture preaches today, especially to women, is that we don't need anyone. And sometimes I feel like we go to an extreme. We need people. You sitting on the other side of the screen, you need people in your life. Give yourself the permission to desire and want that. If you find no one in your corner currently, it's not too late. I promise you that. Through prayer, manifestation, meditating, whatever it is, and putting yourself out there, I promise you, you can build amazing relationships, because that's what we're on earth for.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. Here on the channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead and share your thought. So you guys know how I feel about conversations like this. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I am one person that I believe in relationship. Like, I believe in healthy, good, beautiful relationship. I'm not totally against relationship. Even if we come here, we talk about it, because a lot of people sometimes think that, oh, sometimes we come here, we don't want about men haters, we don't like men, we don't like relationship, we believe women should be alone. I am of the opinion that as humans, we are meant to have somebody, because deep down inside us, we crave to have a community, we crave to have somebody to do life with. So I feel like generally, we as humans were not meant to be alone. That's my own opinion. So you having like somebody to do life with may come in form of a life partner, in form of a husband, a boyfriend, a friend. Okay, I believe that too. All right, but with the way society has been set up, society has been set up for a whole lot of mind games. Everybody's playing mind games, dating game, manipulation games about their emotions, their feeling, and what they really want deep down inside. Everybody's maxing it out. Nobody wants to be vulnerable. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. So everybody's closing up and playing a role and all that. And I wish all that would stop. But let's come back to hyper independent. Hyper independent is something that it's so real, and that's something that I personally, I would say I am. Okay, I am that person that, including my husband, that my husband doesn't really worry about me at all. Like, he really does not. Like, he knows I can, like, if I call and say, oh, this thing is bad, my husband knows that before I'm calling, I'm already trying to get it done. I'm already trying to fix it. And that is something that I have a friend that actually taught me to sometimes lay back and let things, don't try and control everything, and which I'm still learning, which I'm on that journey, still really learning. I'm trying to let go, lose control a little bit, because growing up, I didn't have anybody I could trust, anybody that I know like wants me or need me. Yes, I came from an amazing big family, but there was still always that void. Like, I didn't feel good enough. I was made to be in charge of everybody. Like, you guys know, we've had this conversation of being the first daughter, how being a first daughter has this trauma where you are almost like the second mom, even though you are a child. And I have to be all that for my younger ones. And a whole lot of other traumas that has kicked on to made me like, I don't trust anybody. So I feel like when you're hyper independent, it kind of reflects on how you move around and how you navigate relationship. Because in your sense, like, you're really scared, you don't want anybody to fail you. So automatically you're not being 100% vulnerable for that person, which is something I've always talked about, how we're very, very close up, and that's due to our trauma. And that's one thing I always talk about here, that, you know what, as people, we should try and unpack our trauma and heal our traumas and start our healing journey. Because like the video I did, like, we can 100% be perfect and all that. That's unrealistic, but you can actually be on the journey where you are very self-aware, you know you're on a journey, you know you have some issues. Because I feel like when you identify that you have an issue, sometimes when things happen, you're not just dumping it on the other person and blaming the other person, or like, oh, it's the other person. You go back and you know that, okay, I could play a role in this by over controlling, over stimulating things, over being masculine. Because that's one thing I've been accused of. I'm a masculine kind of woman, in terms of I want control, I want to take charge of control. In terms of even my relationship with my husband, with friends, and even past relationships I've always been that person. I have this masculine aura. Like, I feel like I can do anything. And I'll pull furnitures, I'll pull things, I'll fix generators. I'm that girl, I'm that woman. And now I'm really trying to learn, because I feel like those type of energy, it's not as if there's anything wrong with being independent, okay? There's nothing wrong, look out for yourself. But sometimes when it's over, I feel like it shifts the energy and the dynamic of you and your partner, especially as a woman. It kind of shift the energy, because your partner can definitely pick it up, and like, you know, you have trust issues, you're not comfortable, you want to be charged, and some partner may not like it, right? Sometimes it just shifts your partner's energy to be very, very feminine, and then you not be the masculine, and then you complain why your partner don't do things for you. Not that I'm not blaming, just for this conversation, I'm not saying there are some men that are like, okay, let's get it out of it. So I really feel like it's really good for you to have that balance and identify it. I'm not saying stop being independent, but when you identify it and you're in a dynamic of a relationship, sometimes it's a good way, because sometimes it's good to be single, okay? It's good, I would say it. Because the relationship out there, they are not. So I would say, like, when you're hyper independent, take your time, know yourself, okay? Know yourself, and don't just settle for less. And yes, sometimes not settling for less can be a reflection of being hyper independent. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. I'm going to do like a part 2 of this hyper independent thing concerning family dynamic. I'm going to do that, which you want to watch, because I'm going to unpack some family traumas of mine on that video. So watch out for that video. That will probably be next. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm going to do a video on that. But anyway, guys, let me know your thought about this video down in the comment section. Please feel free to share your opinion and let me know how do you think hyper independence show up in relationship. And sometimes it might not even be hyper independent. It may just be like you are over the entire madness of the dynamic that is going on in relationship, and you're just like, you know what, buggy, I just want to be by myself. Okay, it could be that. Okay, which I get it, but just let me know your own thought down in the comment section. Like you guys know, we have amazing and banging conversation, so go ahead and share your thought, but please keep it respectful. Go on and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do. Yeah, we have banging conversation. With that all said, guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and supporting this girl. With that all said, guys, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.